What is going on, guys? It is WrestleMania here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including The Rock's new movie, Bombs. Is he returning to WWE? And Friday goes off on Dave Meltzer. Is WWE bringing back the classic logo? The Undertaker dethroned, and much more. First story looks at The Rock's new movie, Bombs. Our top story today takes a look at the status of The Rock's new movie, and the new project looks to have completely bombed. There was a ton of buzz for The Smashing Machine, as it was receiving rave reviews early on, and it was even receiving Oscar buzz. However, the movie's opening weekend was a complete failure, as PW Insider reports that the movie only hit $6 million for its opening weekend. The Rock's mark, Kirby-opic. Smashing Machine did anything but smash at the box office. Deadline. Com is reporting that the film will only hit $6 million for its opening weekend domestically, where it was tracking initially for a $20 million opening. Those predictions began to falter when it was announced Taylor Swift would release a film to support a new record 2 weeks ago for this weekend. The Smashing Machine was pulled from Dolby Cinema theaters to accommodate Swift's film. Smashing Machine had some Oscar buzz for Johnson's performance when it hit the festival circuit a few weeks ago, but there's no word if that will hold strong as a film falters at the box office. And The Rock and the studio will no doubt be disappointed by these numbers. And the fact that cinemas are pulling the movie in favor of a Taylor Swift showcase is rather alarming. We would have thought The Rock would do a 3 count for Taylor Swift, but it goes without saying that there's still time for the movie to gross a profit. However, in 2025, the opening weekend is a key indicator in terms of how well a movie is going to perform, especially with a movie which had a budget of $50 million. If the movie does get nominated for an Oscar, then a re-release is likely, and the movie gross will likely jump up significantly. But there's no guarantee the movie receives the Oscar nod, and the studio and The Rock shouldn't be solely relying on this to make the movie project a success. So The Rock returning to WWE? So, it looks like The Rock's new movie is bomb, but does that mean a WWE return is on the horizon? Is The Rock now wanting Cody sold back? Well, The Rock is already a key part of WWE thanks to being a member on the board of directors, so reinserting himself into the WWE realm would be rather easy. The Rock distanced himself from WWE earlier this year when he decided his part in the John Cena heel run was done. This was a decision that received major backlash from fans, and it even led to The Rock appearing on the Pat McAfee show to explain his reasoning for walking away. If The Rock does now commit to a WWE return following the failure of the Smashing Machine, then he has a lot of work to do to rebuild trust with the fans. The Rock making a one-off appearance being a key part of the angle again, and then dipping simply isn't going to cut it. If The Rock wants back in, he needs to be committed and show fans that he actually wants to be there. The Rock already appears to be leaving behind the most serious acting projects, as The Rock is set to star in a Jumanji sequel set to be released next year. Movies of this nature are guaranteed to be box office successes, so it's unlikely that The Rock's run in Hollywood is completely over. If The Rock does return to WWE, where exactly does it fit in? The Roman Reigns match is a possibility. However, it's heavily rumored that WWE want to save that specific match for WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia. WWE may wish to revisit the storyline between The Rock and Cody Rhodes, but that story has been overly complicated over the past year that it may have been best to leave it alone, especially how they just reckoned a whole storyline by having them be sworn enemies and then friends later backstage. One option is for The Rock to be involved in John Cena's final few months. The Rock abandoning the story with Cena left WWE in a state of limbo, and it could act as a solid way to wrap up the story to see The Rock reinsert himself into Cena's final year. The Rock could be furious that Cena didn't follow his orders, and The Rock could handpick his last few opponents. The Rock could even take an AA during Cena's final match to bring that storyline to a definitive close. Whatever the case, the apparent failure of The Rock's new project does increase the chances of a Rock WWE return, and time will tell if it actually transpires. Do you guys want to see The Rock back in WWE? Next up, Andrade talks WWE exit. Now, Andrade has been making the headlines since leaving WWE as he recently redebuted in AEW, and this weekend he won the Crash World title. During an interview with TJ Sports, Andrade would discuss his thoughts towards WWE now that he's no longer employed by the company. How do I feel after leaving WWE and been chasing this championship for such a long time today? After leaving WWE, everything happens for a reason. I worked hard almost over 20 years as a professional wrestler. I've been in this business for more than 20 years and know that the Crash is a very respected company both nationally and internationally, and I set myself the goal that one day if I left WWE again, I would go after the Crash World Heavyweight Championship. Andrade would then urge wrestlers to not talk bad about other wrestling promotions. I've left most companies on good terms. I also left WWE well and will always tell other wrestlers don't speak badly about companies. Companies will always remain, but we wrestlers get injured, we pass away, and wrestling continues. That's the advice I'd give. Don't badmouth promotions. When I was younger, I sometimes spoke out, but I've always respected every company. This is rather refreshing. It's usually a common practice for ex-WE wrestlers to badmouth the company. However, due to the circumstances around Andrade's release being complicated, it probably wouldn't be wise for him to say anything too negative about the company. Andrade is a name that has jumped shipped between WWE and AEW back and forth, so it's certainly his best interest to not completely burn bridges on one side. Fans have already been joking that Andrade is once again going to re-jump back to WWE in a few years' time, and based on his current career trajectory, that wouldn't come as too much of a surprise. Next up, Andrade goes off on Dave Meltzer. Speaking of Andrade, he isn't exactly the biggest fan of Dave Meltzer from the Wrestling Observer. Recently, Meltzer had this to say in relation to Andrade returning to AEW, and these were the exact comments that have caused so much anger from Andrade. Unlike with guys like Penta, Phoenix, and Ricky Starks, who it became clear weren't interested in staying, and Khan took them off television, Andrade gave Khan the belief he was staying. Khan believed that he had an agreement for a renewal that wasn't signed. He pushed him until the end, even though those in wrestling who knew him said he was going to WWE. Then his contract expired, and he left. He is talented in the ring, but Gez, everyone is. Even 5 years ago, he was a very unique talent. But now there are so many guys at his level with better speaking ability and charisma. Responding via X, the current AW star stated, tagging in Dave Meltzer, "You talk too much without proof. And sir, I only tell you one thing. When my contract with AW ended, I personally went man to man to thank Mr. Tony Khan for the opportunity to be in AEW. And that's all I'll tell you. If I wanted to talk more, I would show you that you're wrong about many things, but you keep killing the business." Meltzer is yet to publicly respond to Andrade, but a response will likely come on his audio show in the next coming days, and you'll probably have to pay $14.99 for it. Give next, Adam Pearce's warning. A WWE official, Adam Pearce, recently warned his fans about a fraudulent TikTok account impersonating him. Pearce took to his Instagram story to expose the fake profile, which he has amassed thousands of followers and likes and featured fake videos of him. He urged followers to be cautious, posting on the IG story, "Fake, beware of goofs that pretend I'm on TikTok." And unfortunately, in the age of social media, these scams are very common. Hopefully, calling this user out will result in TikTok banishing his. Next up, Roman Reigns' Crown Jewel match reveal. A Crown Jewel Perth is just 6 days away, and now it's been reported that Roman Reigns' matchup will be a gimmick match. According to The Observer, Reigns versus Bronson Reed in a gimmick match will be the final match added to the show. Based on an internal lineup sheet for Saturday's Crown Jewel show in Perth, Australia, Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed was listed as the final match for the show. As things stand, the match isn't even official for the show, and 6 days' notice is really underwhelming. In relation to where the match will sit on the card, it's unlikely to main event. A match with zero stakes main eventing over 2 champion versus champion matches is a controversial move, and fans are already weighing in on the report on social media. The match card with Reigns' match added sits at 5 matches, and it doesn't appear to be the case that WWE will be adding any more matches to the card. 5 matches for a PLE is disappointing, but this is an era where WWE likes to stank the shows with commercials, so limited matches on the PLE is going to continue to be a common. Next up, The Undertaker loses his title. And during Season 1 of WWE LFG, The Undertaker was awarded the LFG Championship for being the coach with the most finalists for his team. Last night, the Season 2 finale aired, and despite both winners of the show, Danny Sikowski and Shiloh Hill being on Team Undertaker, Shawn Michaels decided to award the title to Michelle McCool, despite McCool only having 1 finalist. In terms of the future of the show, LFG Season 3 has been commissioned and is set to begin filming relatively soon. And is WWE bringing back the classic logo? Our final story today takes a look at the possibility of WWE bringing back their classic logo from the 80s. We all know that WWE loves to trademark absolutely everything they can, and now it's surfaced that they've recently filed file to trademark their classic logo. Mark for WWE trademark registration is intended to cover the categories of entertainment services, namely a show, about pro wrestling entertainment services, namely the production and exhibition of pro wrestling events rendered live and through broadcast media, including television, and distributed via various platforms across multiple forms of transmission media. But WWE still uses the logo for a ton of merch, particularly for retired wrestlers. So it's unlikely that they're using the logo for anything else. With that being said, WWE could easily incorporate the classic logo into other elements, such as a new championship or even a rebrand of sorts, especially now that they have obtained the trademark. The current WWE logo was introduced as part of the WWE Network launch, and with the WWE Network being mostly obsolete, it could be the perfect time to reintroduce the logo. The classic logo is instantly identifiable, and TKO may wish to revert to this logo, perhaps with a modern twist. If WWE was going to rebrand, it would have more sense to do this when they debuted on Netflix or ESPN. But this is WWE after all, when not all business decisions make logical sense.